our Lovecraft segments have been causing a little hysteria.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm all caught up, so I can get back into the conversation.
Okay.
I didn't know you was behind.
Yeah.
I was only behind when we were having a conversation at Freak Shit.
Oh, okay. That's right. That's right. But no, you're good now.
From there, I got caught up though. I was just mad I couldn't get into that conversation because that was around all the Lovecrafters and shit. Like we're Lovecrafters over here, but that was like a bigger, like a big ass group of them.
Well, yeah. Our dialogue. I thought we did a really good job at navigating the space on the episode last week in terms of just like talking about sexuality and sexual identity and everything. A few friends
History of violence.
A few friends who do identify as gay or other did reach out to confirm and say salute on navigating that and some things, and you know some and were able to educate me on some things too. So I hella love you guys. There was some hetero men who weren't as gracious, to say the least, in and around our discussion, and but ultimately made some really good points. So I want to be inviting of that energy as well.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely get it.
Yeah.
I'm just one that is like left for all, so like I'm not really tripping. Like it's not even that I'm not tripping. It's just more so like folks should be like sexual preferences and like sexuality isn't all that big of a deal for me personally. Like but then again, I am a heterosexual male, so like I would be at the like. From history, I would be in the food chain that's always been here.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that's very close to like just being a fucking white male of sexuality. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I would be the one that's like, I'm not really tripping off all
It's
this
not
shit.
a big deal.
Yeah, like I can have that luxury. You know what I mean? But like with that being said, I still accept the fact that folks have all these different ways about them, and it's appreciative, and I want them to have the level of support. But I still get it from people that is just like when it's being like when it feel like there's no I don't know, man. Like it just keeps on being circulated in a way. Like I can see how that can be, especially when you're not tripping, how the overwhelming amount of attention that goes into that. I get it.
And that was ultimately what they brought up. That's exactly what they said. It was like, yo, like, appreciate y'all stance and how y'all talk about it, but nah,
it's everywhere.
it's everywhere. It's being forced, and then how do I explain that imagery to my children? I was like, damn, I don't have kids, so I'm out of that race. And you're not wrong, but to L's point, it's like sexual identity and preference, and it's just none of my business. But again, does that fall on the same spectrum as white men who are just aloof to all of the all the plight of different minority groups
and enabling
what's going on. And my just like, hey, I don't be in nobody else's business, enabling the hate and disdain and how I don't know. When the hetero men that reached out about last week's episode reached out and what they had to say, I was like, damn. Maybe they're right in terms of my stance.
That is how you know we are in the overly informational time in history, because this is very similar to when the most recent iteration of the replay was coming out, where they'll be going to the replay booth to figure out like what's going on. And the commentator and some of the conversation around it was that when they look at the replay, can they look at it for so long that they start to see it differently than what it actually is?
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, is it possible that you can watch something so much that you can then start to believe it to be something other than what it actually is? And that's possible around a lot of these topics, is that is that is the oversaturation in a way, is it something that is, yeah, I can't, that's probably not the way to go about this. Let me stop.
No,
I gotta stop doing that
I,
though, but like that,
no, because you bringing up great ass points, G.
no,
and
because like it's something, it's a difficult topic to talk about though, because I'm not that person, you know what I mean, like I'm not, this isn't my group,
yeah, and that was the other
so I
thing.
can't be the one talking about it.
That was the other thing is like, because we said that when we were talking about it last week, and the homies that reached out was like, no, y'all are the niggas that need to talk about it, like for real, and offer, and open up the space for dialogue so that you can be, so that if you do misstep or say something, because you guys are ultimately navigating it in a responsible way. It's the niggas who aren't being responsible that are having a dialogue. So let's not group or lump ourselves into that, because
Completely.
we're figuring it out. We're bringing it up, and we're offering the space for both sides to speak up, to unpack it, and to ultimately serve as the bridge to bring people to the space.
Completely. And I think just for listeners and for everyone, I would ask from the heterosexual side that there is leeway in the conversation for you to make mistakes in regards to a lot of this stuff, because I feel like, come from my side, and this is probably a phobia you would say, but it gets stopped and it gets suppressed, and it's only going to lead to suppression if you're not able to have conversations around something.
Facts.
Which if you just open up the dialogue and not be afraid to hear some of the things that are being said, then it will help the person that may be saying the incorrect things to be able to maybe find a middle ground, or even come to your way of thinking a little bit, if they're able to at least get their thoughts off, and then you can take that in, and then you can give them back a response that is more correct, since you are the person in that position. And I'm saying that for that because I can talk about that. That's the one that I have a phobia in, because you can't have many conversations in that space. But it's very similar to, and it's dead on, even though we hate grouping these two together.
Yeah.
But with black people not being, or just people of color not being able to hear out racism, and just shunning it at the very beginning of even hearing it, you have to be able to hear some of these things and then be able to have a dialogue around it, in order for you to maybe be able to penetrate racists.
And so, for the sake of conversation, because that's where I lean, and I feel like that's where we've gotten the most in trouble, because we usually do that around race, religion, and now we're doing it with sexual identity. It's like, again, we occupy a unique space, being black, hetero men, and it affords us an autonomy that we're incapable of being aware of, and until we say these type of things, it's like, fuck, I didn't even know that I had a. I feel like I'm being preyed on, and you're going, nah, fam, you're at the top of the food chain, and you have black male privilege. What the fuck is that? Like, I just learned what that is. Like, that's the thing, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, so now we're trying to serve as a bridge into a safe space around a dialogue, and we're going, yeah, nigga, you gotta show me where the racist at. I mean that when I say it, like, genuinely, show me where they are, point them out, and I feel like I have a much better fighting chance if I know who they are.
That's it. That's always been the conversation. I'd rather see people exactly as they are.
Yeah.
Like, let me know who you are initially, and then allow me to gauge where that is from there. But don't be out here acting as if it's buddy buddy, or just like another type of energy, when in essence we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I hate being in that space where you're being genuinely you, but another person is being the version that they think works for you.
Yeah.
When in essence that's not working for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I see right through that type of shit.
Yeah. Nah, it's fascinating, but and we set that up to get into talking about talking about the show, to talking about Lovecraft. I don't know. I'm still here and going. This is one of the best experiences as a, as far as entertainment goes and storytelling. I'm here for it. Last week's episode for my, for bang for my investment into an hour. Holy smokes, man, that shit was intense.
Heavy sci-fi.
And I'm not the sci-fi nigga. I think that's what is jumping off for me. Like I don't do sci-fi at all. And
heavy sci-fi, but the underbelly, once again, they would take you into this one, into other worlds, of course, but the underbelly, like the message behind it, like the message of the belittling of yourself, like that's a real thing, like not being seen and deciding and picking your partner by where you are at any given time, and then staying in that, you know what I mean, and not realizing it, and then not having your partner anymore, and now being lost because you were you succumb to all of that, you know what I mean, like, so that feeling right there is a story that doesn't get told like that. I think people skim completely over that story, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost as if, like, somebody that belittles themselves in a relationship or belittles themselves in life and then ends up in a relationship where they shrink even smaller, and allow a lot of things to pass. It's almost as if they make it normal for that to be a thing. So what the public is seeing is that this is normal and this is something that you should be looking for.
Yeah.
And it plays a terrible game in real life, where people really choose their partners to then be in their shadow, you know what I mean, and to become super dependent, which dependent isn't a bad thing in the way that I'm trying to say it, but it's just more so you should have another level of yourself, like you should be a separate entity from the situation you're in, and then bring them together. You know what I mean? Like that makes that's a power right there.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
Lex,
there's a chink in that armor.
Lex, where are you? Just because I'm framing it for you because you're a storyteller. I don't know. In terms of action, the last episode had the probably the least amount, but as far as importance in story,
it had so much.
Yeah, okay, I'm not off in that.
Nah,
okay,
it had so much story, and like you said, it's crazy because since they are in sci-fi, they're allowed to do so much more.
Free.
Like you can just, like you said, you can be as free as you want to be, and you don't have to worry about the regular I'll just say shackles of storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
So for her to go all the way back and be dancing in Paris, and then for her to like see how they were treated as black people, and just that world that she's in, she's smoking weed, and just and that conversation, that dialogue that they had, I was like, oh my God.
A reoccurring theme is Jesus, I can't speak today. Is as if liberation is magic, right? And time again, it's like, yo, if you could have any power, what would you have? And it's all the two times that it's happened in the show, both of the characters have wished for, on the grand scheme of things, fairly insignificant positions in life. One was like, I just want to work at a shoe store or a clothing store. And then she's like, I just want to be a dancer on the crew. Like, and that maybe, and they keep referencing back. It's like, yo, I'm offering you absolute power, and this is what you come up with, and it speaks to the glass ceiling, and you go Emancipation Proclamation and take the chains off. But did you really? Did you really? If what you even with your if you're not bound by anything, and you in the dreams you can muster up still have limits on them, like I'm offering you absolute power to be whatever you want to be, and this is as far as you can dream for yourself. It's a beautiful sort of underlying tone that's consistent throughout the show, and I can't get past it. That's why the last episode was so important in the grand scheme. What, because is this season supposed to be 10 episodes or is it 12?
I thought what episode are they on? 7?
This is about to be 8 this week.
Is it? I thought it was 8.
Yeah, I would think they would stop at 8.
I thought it was
today's the finale.
Don't know.
But nah, they didn't say nothing about it being the finale, so they'll probably go to 10.
Yeah, that's what I was. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
They probably knew they had it, and they were like, "Hey, we'll let you slide."
I'm not worried because This Is Us is coming, so I'm gonna be okay.
It's almost here.
I'm gonna be okay. But man, salute to the entire crew. I really we've been saluting out Misha and the whole staff, but I really want to salute Jonathan Powers and HBO too, on another one.
Another one.